Hi friend, today I'm going to walk you through how to set up a brand new Dubsado account all the way from the beginning. So when you first log into your Dubsado account after you sign up, it's going to look like this. First thing I like to do is come over into the settings and get this set up first. So we're going to start with branding. So this is a fictional company called Thrive Life Coaching. So we are going to upload this logo into here. Once we've got the logo in there, I'm going to update this color. This is the color that's going to go on all of the links and all the buttons and all the customization that your client is going to see. So this is important to make sure this is a brand color. We're going to go ahead and grab this exact color. I've got a Chrome extension here that I love that lets you pull the color right off the page to make sure that we get a good match. That way we get the one straight from the logo, or if you have brand guidelines, pull it from there. So then you're going to add in your business email, your business phone number, and then you can select whether you want it to send from your name or from your company's name. That's going to depend. For here, let's go ahead and send it from the company's name. This is what your email is going to come from. And I've got a fake address in here, but you'll want to put your real business address in here. That's going to go on all of your invoices. So it's important to have your correct business address for legal and compliance reasons. So you can fill that in here. Obviously, this is a fake company, so I've got a fake address. Here, we're going to hit save. Portal, we're actually going to come back to. I will walk you through setting up the portal, but we're going to come back to that. Multi-user is where you can invite other people into your Dubsado account. So if you're hiring a specialist like me, for instance, this is where you would add someone in, invite new users. You can't do that while you're on a trial. You have to have a paid plan. So make sure you subscribe if you're trying to invite that, or if you've got a VA or an admin or another team member, this is where you would invite them right here. This is where you can set your time zone, your language, your currency, symbol, etc., payments, and invoices. Okay, so here you're going to select your country and your currency. This shows whether you're going to bill to your client name or your company name. I like to have both. This is going to depend if you're a B2C or a B2B. I'm a B2B, so I always do client name and company name. You can also just do straight to the company name. I work with a lot of coaches, solopreneurs, etc. So I like to have both on there. If you're working with larger organizations, you're probably going to do company name. And if you just do consumers, like if you're a wedding photographer, something like that, you're going to bill straight to the client name. You can show or hide taxes on each line. And then this allows you to put terms in your invoices. So like in mine, I have please don't send checks, use the pay now button. Thank you for your business. You can put instructions here. You can put a thank you message. I definitely like to have some kind of thank you message in here. Emails. Now, the easiest thing to do is if you have a Microsoft or Google account, just sign in right here. That's going to link your emails. You can also connect with SMTP. So if you have something on like your web server and that's how you get your business mail, you would set this up right here. If you guys want me to make a video on how to do that, let me know. And I will create a video showing you how to use SMTP to connect your email. Allow. Okay, so now it's connected, and since it's hooked up with the Google account, or if it was a Microsoft account, you can have the tracking pixel on to see if the emails have been read or not. It's really handy. It doesn't work perfectly, but it works really well. Here's where you will set up if you want to hook this up to your QuickBooks or Xero, etc. Conferencing we'll come back to. We're going to set that up actually when we set up the calendar. So this is where you set up a custom domain for your client portal. We'll come back to this one when we're setting up the client portal. Custom mapped fields is where you can set up things for your questionnaires, your proposals, etc., that the client fills out and then goes to a specially mapped field. So this can be really helpful if you want to display certain pieces of information inside of your customer profile and inside of your projects, this is where you would set this up. If you are setting up appointments and you want it to check your calendar, you're going to want to make sure that you have this flipped on. That way they're checking your calendar to make sure there's no conflicts before they're putting an appointment on your calendar. And then if you have multiple Dubsado brands, then you can turn this on if you want it to check across multiple brands. We'll leave that off for right now. So the next thing we're going to set up is calendars. So this is your dashboard. You'll come over here to calendar. Then you're going to go to calendar settings and sync calendar. I personally love to use the Google Calendar for Dubsado. I feel like it sets up really, really easy. It syncs really well, but you can definitely use any of these. I know I have clients who use iCloud, etc. So let me know if you want any app-specific tutorials here, because some of these you have to generate an app password and it gets a little bit tricky. So let me know if you want to see that. And right now I'll show you how to set this up with Google. Once you've logged into your chosen calendar, then you're just going to come back here to calendar settings, and then this will show you all the calendars that you have inside of that calendar account. Then you link it right here. Now you can have multiple calendars within one calendar account linked to Dubsado. So for instance, on my main Dubsado account, I import all the synced calendar events from all of them to make sure that I don't have any scheduling conflicts. And then I only export onto one of them. The export takes the events that are scheduled inside of Dubsado, like appointments with clients, etc., and puts it on your calendar. So you're not going to want to do this. You're not going to want to export onto every single calendar, but you probably want to import all or most of your calendars. For now, we're just going to do the one. I've created a sample calendar for this. And we're going to import and export both onto this one calendar. Perfect. Now you can see I added a couple coaching sessions onto this Google Calendar right here, and they are showing up inside of Dubsado. Now Dubsado is going to check with your calendar before creating appointments, as long as you have that setting turned on in the settings like I just showed you. It's going to pull from here, so that way when people are booking with you, they're not going to see what's on your calendar, but they are going to see what slots are available based on the times that we'll go set in the settings and the scheduler in a little bit. So this is really handy. And then if you ever want to just say block off a whole day without going into your templates in your scheduler and making all those little granular changes, you can just block off a day on your calendar. Like this. Out of office, and then make sure that this says busy. If this says free, then Dubsado will go ahead and just schedule right over the top of it, which is also helpful. If you have an all-day event that's not actually blocking off your calendar, you can have it set to free. You can see here it's pulled in the events that are on your Google Calendar. You can also switch this to be a weekly or a monthly view. Once you've got your calendar set up, you're going to want to set up video conferencing if you're doing any kind of remote work. So if you're a flooring company or something like that where you're not really doing a lot of video conferencing calls, then you are not going to need to set that up. But if you are a coach or even a photographer or a lot of people, you're going to have at least a consult. So you're going to want to set this up with your video conferencing system. So that's going to be back here in settings. You're going to come over to integrations and then hit connect on conferencing. So make sure that you've got your calendar set up before you do this part. Like this says here, they're automatically going to connect to Google Meet if you set up a Google Calendar. But if you don't use Google Meet, I use Zoom. So that's what I'm going to show you here is how to set that up. I feel like that's most of the people that I talk to and work with use Zoom. So we're going to go with that. So you're going to do enable conferencing. Do sample calendar because that's the one that I have set up for this account. Okay, Now you've got Chronify default, which is at this point going to be Google Meet. So if you want Google Meet, no problem, leave it alone. We're gonna go ahead and select Zoom. It's fairly simple. The next thing that we're gonna do is set up your project tab to keep track of your leads and your jobs. So you come over here to customize. If you don't have these types of processes and sequences in your business right now, I would definitely recommend thinking through what's the process that your clients or your customers go through every single time, and really start to write that down, really start to flesh that out, because that's the kind of thing that's going to cause your business to systematize. And once you systematize, then you can really grow. Okay, so let's say that your customer starts out with booking a consult with you. So they book a consult, then you send them a proposal. And then let's keep it simple. Let's say they either accept or reject, and then you move to jobs. So the leads are for before they've booked with you, before they've signed the contract, before they've paid you anything, etc. The jobs are for when you have them signed, paid, you're starting to work with them in whatever capacity. If you're a photographer, then that's going to be like after the photo shoot is booked, the deposit is paid, the contract is signed. If you're a coach, this is once they've scheduled their first paying session with you, etc. That's when you're going to move from a lead to a job. And it's the same way. You're going to hit add status. This time we're going to select job. Say the first thing that this Thrive Life coaching does is a onboarding process. So we're going to do an onboarding stage. This just lets you in the project section of your Dubsado keep track of how many prospects and customers you have in each phase. So it gives you a good idea of where you need to focus your energy on, maybe things that you need to streamline, if you've got bottlenecks, and kind of just how much space you have in your calendar. So this is good to have this organized, and then this will also play into workflows once you get to that point where you're going to have different workflows that can change these automatically based on actions that the customer takes. So you're not going to need to remember, oh my God, I've got to change this status and keep track of it. You can do it manually, but over here, we're all about automation. You want to be automating everything you possibly can. Let's say you have 3 phases of coaching program. I'm just going to go ahead and call this phase 1, 2, and 3. Phase 2, that's a job. Phase 3, that is also a job. There they are. Okay, so now here on the projects page, you can see these different phases, and this will tell you here how many people you have in each part of these lead flow and job funnels. So this can be super helpful to see where everybody is in the process. And you see they've got a sample one in here. Now to change this, this is job, no status. Change this, you just click this little drop down, and let's say we want to put them into onboarding. And now they're going to show up right here. There we go. So we're in all right now. I'm going to show up right here. Hey, we've got somebody in onboarding. So that is how you set up your project section, your project tab here, according to what you need in your business. But I definitely recommend going through, thinking through your process. And that is one of the awesome things about using Dubsado or something like it, is it forces you to really think through your process, think through your ideal process with your ideal customer, and really streamline that. Now let's set up your payment processor so you can get paid. I use Stripe, but you can use Stripe, Square, or PayPal. And I believe Dubsado is also coming out with some internal payment processors as well. I really like to use something like Stripe because then I also use something called drop funnels for all of my marketing funnels, which I highly recommend. And so I like to have one payment processor that I can use across multiple platforms. So Stripe makes it really easy. Again, Square also works great. So you're going to hit connect right here, and it's going to bring you here. After you log in, you're going to see this. I've just logged into my Thrive HD account. Obviously, if you have a new Stripe account, you would set that up and then hook it up here. Then you just click continue and it'll redirect you right back here to your dashboard. You may need to put in an API key if it's a brand new account, if you hadn't linked it before. I can, again, if you need me to make any specific videos about that or anything else, let me know and I will walk you through that. This is the end of part 1. I hope this was helpful. In part 2, we will cover some of the fun stuff of designing forms, setting up workflows, and all the really awesome automation that Dubsado has to offer. Bye, guys.